Trying to think of anything I can think of to try to tell you that before I get in there. Odie,
Old Town, you said?
Old Town. I think it's called Old Town.
Okay. Oh, shit. Do I not have a mount now?
Oh, you probably should have gotten a mount from just being one of them and completing the quest. But let me see. You know, you should have all your mounts because you're it's war bands. So when you click on your mount in that little like horseshoe, you just got to put your mount on your bar. You probably don't have like a speed of it yet, and you definitely don't have dragon flying, but we'll get you there. That's why we should definitely just stick to the dragonfly campaign, probably, to just make sure you have flying if anything comes up.
Why can't, why can't my dude flying? My little griffin.
Because you're only level 10, so you don't have flying yet. We'll
Oh,
get.
I
We'll
don't even
get.
have my learner's permit. Come on.
Yeah, it's like it's some stupid thing. It's basically though, like I'm pretty sure this is like not even how it works anymore because you're gonna get into dragonflight and then you're gonna get dragon flying right off the bat. So maybe we have to do a couple of quests to get you flying, and I don't mind doing that either. And we can kind of see how fast the quests level you up because maybe the quest is efficient and I'm not realizing its efficiency. I'm coming to you. See this void elf. Ooh, one with a more of a high elf look.
Mm-hmm. I always preferred that.
It's actually kind of nice that they added that customizable feature to void elves. It wasn't always there, um, but it gives us a high elf now essentially, which has been for like the longest time part of the lore, part of the alliance. They look like blood elves in some sense, but um, something happened to them like a long time ago and supposedly they were like almost eradicated, so there's really not supposed to be a lot of them. So like this makes the best sense to kind of have them as a race that like, oh, you can make a void elf that's one, and so that way there's not a whole bunch of high elves running around because there shouldn't be compared to like what the lore is, I guess, if that makes sense.
It does make sense.
I am by that area, by the way, so
Leave my second action bar here. My click bar.
oh, I see you now. I'll come run to you and guide you here. Stay on the ground so that way we don't get fucking confused on who's flying, who's not flying. Dog needs
So the dummies were somewhere in this area.
Dog definitely needs to go for a hike today. Do that and maybe a walk at the boardwalk. I like this mount that you have though. It's one of my faves. Just doesn't
I
match
think
my.
it's emotional one.
It is. It's a War Within one, but I kind of like the look of the Griffin. I ain't gonna lie. All right, here you go. Here's these
Ooh, that's
guys.
definitely interesting.
But
Okay, let's see what my abilities are. I move while I cast that.
here, share your screen too, so I can watch you.
Yeah. Uh,
You're gonna go Frost, right?
yeah, I picked Frost.
All right, awesome.
It occurs to me that I can respect that at any time, so I can always change my mind, I guess.
Yep, 100%. And it's kind of like meant to be like maybe like PvP, you're a Frost Mage, and then PvE, like you go raiding and you're a Fire Mage, and then maybe you're back to Frost when you do a dungeon. Like this is kind of the flavor of Mage that like for certain content there might be a certain premier one to play, and then like if you want to be the best Mage, you're good at all. And usually,
Man, it's a bit more of an issue on this class.
so mastery and
Dragon Guy
haste.
doesn't release it. Hmm?
So item level above everything, right? But then mastery is your number one secondary stat right now, along with haste. Remember, this can change within like a week or so with the new expansion.
Yeah.
All
Ooh, blink. Oh, Oh, beautiful. Oh, but it's such a long cooldown.
You'll get more talents to slow that and help that out. All right, now I can watch you. Okay, so that Frost Nova, what that does, that's another one, right? So when they get close to you, you hit Frost Nova, it puts them in their own like ice shackles, right? So now they're frozen and they can't move. So then you can run away from them. So it's like what I would use is like Frost Nova as one, Blink as another one. You use them separately, like two different events to try to kite, not the same. And you're still way too close to this, dude. You're a fucking mage, dude. So what you need to learn
No,
here.
I'm just
Oh,
not standing any particular order.
oh. So what I would do here
I
is
didn't think I needed to be there. I'm just trying to
you're
explore
good.
the what,
You're good.
this what, you know.
You're good. So for Frost Nova, it definitely has to be close. It's not a like a far distance that it hits anybody. If you read it, it's probably like 8 yards, which that's gonna be a thing you're gonna have to just learn. But what I would do here is back up as much as you can and figure out where your range is. Like, so see how like you have a one next to the frost thing? When you keep backing up, it'll go red, and then that tells you that you're out of range. You can still hit from here, right? Yeah. So this is
Oh, this is super ranged.
right. Yes.
I came from here.
Yeah. So a dragon is a mid-range class. This is actually a range class. A mage. You are fucking so
Yeah,
far
okay.
away. Holy shit. Okay. So target a dummy behind you. Spin the other way so that way you have a further distance to go back. Like target one of these guys and then like go towards the stables. Because this is definitely the most important thing that you need to learn is like it's not it's more of like to the eye, right? You know what I mean? Like it doesn't need to be perfect every single time, but you want to be like closest to the eye of what your maximum range is.
Yeah. Otherwise, why is it range? You know, I get
Right.
you.
Yeah.
The range you got. It's no
Exactly.
point being closer and put yourself in danger.
Yeah, sorry if I'm over.
Nope.
Okay.
I am confirming that I understand.
Okay.
All right, so that's a pretty solid range, and that seems to be on what I imagine are all my main spells
So
here. Counter spell,
40-yard range, right? Go over
polymorph. Oh, that's fun. That's the same.
go over to frost first. Go to frost first. Start with the frost bolt, number one.
Frost Nova.
No, frost bolt, number one.
Frost bolt.
So that's a 40-yard range, right? 1.9 second cast. You see all this stuff on the side there?
Yep.
8 mana. Go to the next one, see what the range is on that. So that's a 40-yard. That's good, and that's an instant cast. And then that one's 30 yards, so that's a little smaller. Counter spell, that's your interrupt. So okay, here this is something that you need because you don't have a lot of bars. Hit escape on your keyboard. Go to options. Go to action bars. And check 2, 3, 4, 5, and let me keep going. I'll tell you. Okay, you should be good with that. You shouldn't need 6 and 7. That's too much. You may need it later, but this should set you off good. And then you can hit close.
Oh, you just put them on the side. Oh, that's great.
Yeah. So like close this out. Oh, or actually, was that say lock bars? Is that what you wanted?
Yeah,
you want the bars to be
locked.
locked. You want the bars to be well. Right now we're gonna move shit around, so you don't want it to be locked when it's.
Oh my god! Wait, so are they not locked? Actually, you said action bars, lock bars. So I should uncheck that so I can edit for now.
Yeah, and then you check that. That's really more if you're like clicking your abilities is why you lock the bars, so you don't ever drag them off by accident. Like it doesn't happen to me because I'm always pushing the buttons, but whatever. Okay.
Yeah, but I mean I'm clicking on shit all at the
Take that slow fall. Take that slow fall and move that. It's number 9. Number 9. The thing that's.
I just want to. Okay. All right. Close. All right. So what do you want me to do?
Number 9. Move that off of those 12 bars. I would say put it over. Put it on the side. Yeah. Like basically what that is like that's an ability that like hey I'm going to take this big leap off this cliff. And you cast slow fall on yourself and then you fall off the cliff and it makes it so you don't take falling damage and don't die. So you can click that ability. You're probably not going to use it in combat. You know what I mean? Like you don't ever, there's probably never going to be a moment where you're right. Where you're going to be like, oh my God, I need to hit slow fall wicked fast. Like, no, it's never going to happen. Now that's like a movement key. So like, I don't know, like, do you want me to share my screen and I can show you how my bars are kind of set up? And then.
Yeah, let's see it.
Okay.
All right.
Tell me when you can see it.
You have shared your screen share of me rather than your own World of Warcraft instance.
Hilarious.
I'm like, wait a minute, yours looks just like mine.
Are you sure? Do I need to stop?
Oh, maybe I'm a dumbass. I clicked my own stream.
I was gonna say I'm
It's
pretty.
worse.
All right. Okay. So for one, if you want this thing that I have here, I can help you get one of these for mage and for your class. That's something we can focus on later, but this kind of just puts everything that I need to really look at right here. I just know where my other buttons are. These are the buttons I need the most. All right. Okay. So like all this is right here is control 1, control 2. So these are all alt keys all the way up to 12, right? So what my first 12 keys are things that I got to use in combat, right? So like this is my judgment ability, right? They're I guess the names of these abilities don't matter, right? But if you see like the first 3 of them are things that I can use, like 4 is an AoE, the 5 is my finisher, 6 is like, okay, now I'm getting into cooldown abilities, and it's like 7's another cooldown ability, like I'm doing a ton of damage. 8 should be a different macro. That's just my bars are a little fucked up right now. 9 is my interrupt, so that's what your I think it's on your 7. It's that counter spell. 10 is my stun. And then now as I get into like 11 and 12, I get into like my defensive abilities. Well, 11 is something that it shouldn't be. 8 needs to be off my bars. I can probably fill those in with things now. Boom, ba boom, ba boom. And then so like on my control,
Trail.
oh yeah, so that's an add-on. And then so then like on my control abilities, like this is my heal. Number 2 is my heal. Number 3 is to heal my ally. 4, these are like lock stones that you can get. These are things you can get from warlocks, basically, when I'm in BGs. This is doesn't need to be on my bars anymore. It's a trinket. Number 6, this like just gets me out of somebody slowing me. You know what I mean? Number 8, this blinds me, so it's a CC. These are just things that like you're not using. This one, that's a defensive ability. This is the defensive ability. And then I have like these abilities on the side, which are again more defensives. Like this one reses people in combat. E, I guess this is E and Q are kind of like ones that are important. So I use E and Q because they're right next to my ASD keys, right? So like as I'm moving, right? Q is my this is like my best good shield that's on like a quick cooldown of like a minute. Basically, if somebody blows up this shield does 577,000 fucking health that it prevents me from, and when somebody destroys it, it deals 577,000 health to them. So it's like a nice defensive because it's like, oh yeah, you think you can burn me down to try to hit me, but you're only hurting yourself type of thing. And then my other one is E, which is puts me on my horse and it gives me mobility. So like I feel like on your mage, like this might be best where it's like the blink and then the Q is like to go back to where you're from. But like I don't know how you necessarily move your person, but like Q and E on like any class that I play are always these types of abilities. So like on a warrior, there's like a victory rush ability that I put on my Q that basically like when you kill something, the next thing that you attack is victory rush and it heals you for like a good amount of your health. And then what E is my heroic leap. So it allows me to like jump across the screen. But like no matter what class I play, I always have Q and E as like things
Your defensive and mobility stuff.
because you're always right there. You know what I mean? With
Super
your
reactionary.
right. It's just it's so easy to just hit that button really quick. But just a thought there. That might be whatever. But yeah, we can go back to like looking at your shit now and
All right, so I got.
so like I would put like actually I don't know about like I don't think you have a stun. So I would put maybe Polly the sheep on 10, right? Because that's kind of like your stun. What that's going to do is it turns people into a sheep and then they can't attack you. But if you attack them, they they aren't a sheep anymore. Here, let's go. This is the best way to do any of it.
Q and E are default bound to strafe. That's weird.
Oh, so A and D should be your strafe. I don't know what A and D are
A and
saying.
D is default turn, but if you are holding your right click, it becomes a strafe. So I didn't know that you would even need Q and E for that. I feel like I should be
Yeah.
using those for the moves like you.
I'm telling you, I think this is like I saw some crazy YouTube video 20 years ago, dude. And wow. And some guy was like, movement keys are like the biggest thing that you got to change and will help you. And this is figuring
Dude,
this out
wild.
is
I honestly feel like I should just reset the bindings.
it's so huge once you figure this. Control your character is obviously like a huge fucking learning curve of the game. And if you can master that shit, you are the man. But what I think we should do is I think we should go in front of Stormwind and instead of these what do you call it that we're fighting these dummies, just fight me, but I'm not gonna hit you or do anything to you, so that way you don't die and you can just kind of learn your abilities and see how they actually react with somebody because they're not going to react with the dummy.
Should I be rebinding 11 and 12 to even Q and E? Is that how you did that?
Nope, no. I'll show you how to do that. Close out of this. So you're doing go to options. Actually, maybe we were in the right place. Go to key bindings, quick keybind mode. And now you can set it to the boxes, right? So you can go down to the box, go on to, don't look at that, leave that up. Oh, what are you doing? What are you doing? Go back to key bindings.
You're too late.
Go back to key bindings. Go, just listen to the things that I say. Quick bindings.
Quick keybind mode, right?
Yep. Quick keybind mode. Yep. Move over the buttons and press, right? Just like I was saying. So go over the buttons and now you can set them as you're hovering over them. As soon as you click OK, it turns this menu off or this setting off. So now I wouldn't set those to Q and E right there because that's part of your 12 action keys. I don't know why my guy has like 4 action keys on the side. I think that's some stupid shit I edited and all this shit. Just put them. It doesn't really matter where they are for you. You know what I mean? Like it's more about like the key bind. I guess it does matter where they are for you. What I would say, move them above that. Go to this second bar. Because hear me out. You have 12 keys there. You want to make the 12 keys above there all alt keys too. So you want to do 1 through 12, then you want to do control 1 through 12. And then you can set the other ones to be like Q E T Y U I O P or something that then like is some button that's close to where your hand is that you can hit for defensive because it's reactionary and it's not as much part of your rotation. Whereas the 1 through 12 keys should be what your rotation is. I guess like you don't have 12 keys. I know you only have 5, but that's where we gotta. That's why I tell people you gotta have 12 keys because every class is like to 12. So that's a movement ability. That's going to basically, it's a racial. I wouldn't say it's your primary. So like I would put that on the second level. Well, you got to just right here. Don't worry about moving the spells right now. Just do the key binds. So do 1 through 12 and then make, or I guess you did Q and E there.
So what, here's the part where you say 1 through 12. I don't have a 10 button anywhere.
So yeah, right. So that is where I'm confusing you. So how many buttons do you have?
On my mouse?
Yeah.
Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like 5, and I could probably bind the mouse tilts. 7, 8. I got 8.
So if you have 8.
Only 5 of them are really 5 to 6 of them are super accessible.
Okay, so then let's not do this 7 or 8, unless you do like the 7 or 8 as like, hey, I know that ability is there, but it's like a defensive thing that I can only use every 2 minutes or something, right? We need to. So what we need to do is we need to take, if you have only 5 or 6, we need to use those 5 or 6 and then use controls and then give you at least 12. So what we should do is your first bar at the bottom should go through the 1 through 6 and then use your control key and then do those 1 through 6 again. And this is why I think maybe like alt key, I know alt's set to like self heal. I feel like you should take alt off and then give yourself another 1 through 6 on the top bar there. And that will give you at least 18. And then we're somewhat cooking, especially since you're like kind of low level. You don't have everything yet. But once we boost this guy up, then we'll see. But I think there's like a lot of abilities that don't need to be on your bar, like making cakes. That can go above slow fall because you're not going to be making cakes while you're fighting somebody. Click OK on this. Get that out of your way. Let's start with one thing at a time, and then you get the key bindings, and I think it will make sense. Let's just set up your bar. So pull up your spell book. Okay. So just so this way we make sure we have every ability here. Okay. So Arcane Explosion. You are never going to probably use that, but it's an AoE ability. So I would put it on like if we do ever have like a third set of like alt key actions that you do, that's going to be a third key action. So put it right now. It's on your bar as 3. Move the one from 3 to like something where is that where you're going to put your like wicked 4 alt keys? Then there you go. Okay, next one, Arcane Intellect. Click that ability now because you don't have it on. Click it. Just click it once. That gives you a little buff in the top right of your screen now, right? You need to make sure you have that on all the time. Hover over the buff and it increases your intellect by 5%. This can be a clicked ability though, right? Or you can put it on a binding, but you have it for 60 minutes. So it doesn't need to be something that is like actionable. So then take it off of 8. And then so drag the one from 8 and just right click. Drag it off, right click. There you go. Now it's gone. All right, Blink. This is one that I think should be on Q or E personally because it's your movement and not on 4.
So I think maybe I bind these two to Q and E.
Oh, I think the thing is you're going to get 1 through 6 here, right? And then you're going to have alts of 6 through 12s. You don't see that you're going to have more spells to use yet, but you're going to have more spells to use. So I would say you put that somewhere where you don't need to like click it or really see it. You know you have Blink and you know in the last time you used it. So like you can set it anywhere on these bars and just set that bar to Q and E, but like leave your like 12 action keys to be all combat abilities. Don't mix things in with each other that aren't what they are. So that way you have like one place to look at and be like, what movement abilities do I have on my bar? And you can see Blink, then you can see your racial, you can see all of your movement abilities in one place. And you see all your actions abilities in one place. So you're not like looking all over the screen. Where's this thing at? And then like, okay, now how you already have like slow fall and all that shit over there. Oh, I put mounts over there. Oh, I put my fucking professions over there. Like you put all stuff that like I don't give a fuck about. My Hearthstone. Yeah. Also, here's another one. Go into your bags. Take that stone, that rock. That's your Hearthstone. Put that on there. Boom. Money. That's a tabard. You can wear that if you want to. It shows everybody you're a boy elf because you think you're cool. Okay. So then we got Blink. Oh no, we still haven't moved Blink from 4. So we need to move Blink and figure
Blink
out
is
what
movement, but I would want it on my Q and E.
Right. So
I could put it like up here and then bind that to
Q. Right.
in
Exactly.
the mode thing.
Yes, that's exactly what I mean to do. Yes. Conjure food. That can go by your mount because you're never going to do that in combat. You're going to make food and you can eat it in combat. We can maybe put that on your bar as the food that you make, but we'll do that later. You can make food right now if you want to click it. It's a spell.
So I thought when you're saying making cakes, you were making a really funny joke.
No. You literally make this table now.
You're literally making cakes? Is this the thing that I get?
Yep. So you don't need
refreshment table.
Now click on your bags. It's in your bag. You don't need to click it a whole bunch of times because you get a shit ton of it when you click it one time, and it'll fill up your bags. And you can't sell this. Shit's not worth money, but it's the best food in the game. There's no food in the game that fills up your health and mana as fast as mage food because it's based on percentage, whereas the other ones are based on health. Like they'll say that they are like restores 500,000 health every 10 seconds. Yours restores it to 100% over whatever 20 seconds. So it's the fastest way to do it. So just know that that food is good. You might want to put it on an action bar somewhere, but it's like you're using this, right? If you're ever going to use food, you're using invisibility to get yourself out of combat. You're going and hiding behind a rock wall or something, and then you're eating food. So it's not like you're going to be just out in the middle of the fucking thing fighting a dragon, and it's like, oh, let me just sit down and eat some food real quick.
So this is an out of combat thing.
Right. If you get hit while you're eating food, you immediately stop eating food.
Oh yeah, nailed it.
Now, counterspell. I put this at my number 9 key. So it's like I don't know if this is like a good alt key for you. You're not going to need to do this all that much until you get into like later game where like you're in these harder dungeons and you actually have to interrupt this guy or you're playing PvP. So it can be further along on your action bars, is what I'm trying to say. It doesn't need to be something that's super accessible because you're not going to be using it all that much right now. So Fire Blast is an instant spell, right? So basically, let's say you're doing the Frost spell, right? And he gets super close to you, hit him with a Fire Blast, and then blink away. Use that rate, you know what I mean? Like, because it's instant. You don't want to start off, you already got it on your keys. You don't want to start off with that. You don't want to start off with Fire Blast because then they're going to start running at you, and then you got to cast Frost. You get the surprise element when you cast Frost first, and then when they start running at you, they're slower. You get that concept? I'm sure.
Yep. So castings, because they take more time, you'd rather not have the enemy charge you during that time.
Right.
Get you.
Right. Okay.
All right. Brief pause. Gonna run to the fridge.
No worries.
All right. Frost Nova.
Okay. It's Frost Nova. Now, this one is a pretty good one for like a lot of like, you probably, like if you're fighting in the open world, you're probably going to need to use it a lot, right? Whereas if you're in a dungeon, you probably don't hit it at all. So it's kind of a different one like that. Like it's definitely more for your survivability. In PvP, you're probably using it a lot, but in a dungeon, probably never going to use it. Unless like something's attacking you and you're like, oh, I'm gonna frost over you and run away and then tell the tank, hey, pick this guy up. Say what?
I got disconnected from Blizzard services.
Don't worry about that. It's because there's a bunch of bugs right now. That happens to me too.
Oh, okay. Just a bug. So if this is a reactionary thing, if someone's like chasing me, I mean,
Right.
it's not like the space on my hotbar is like really like.
So you could put it at like 10, 11. And it's gonna freeze people. So all right, Frostbolt, that's number one. That's your main spell. Things are gonna proc up based off you doing Frostbolt. So you're gonna be pushing that button a lot. Ice Block. That is like your biggest defensive, right? This is more for PvP. It doesn't really like if you're in a 1v1, Ice Block doesn't really do much for you unless it heals you. I think at some point it can start to heal you because you're frost when you're in the block. But basically, it just stops what you're doing. Nobody can hurt you or hit you. You're frozen in a block like the Avatar. So that's what that does. There you go. And now nobody can hurt you. But you took it completely off your key bars, it looks like. Or is it still 12? What's the cooldown on that thing? 3 minutes? Okay. You're gonna get this ability too that basically makes all of your like defensive cooldowns come back. And your Frost Novas all come back off of cooldowns. It's called like Cold Snap or something. You'll get that eventually. Okay. So I don't know yet. Put that wherever. It's a defensive, and it's
4 minute cooldown.
It's a defensive, and if you're fighting by yourself, you're gonna die anyways. That's not gonna help you. So I don't know where you want to put it. It's
Probably alt key somewhere.
Yeah. All right. It's more of like a PvP defensive. Like oh, now they moved on to the another target, and then I can come back and I can run away and get healed by my healer.
Alright.
Okay, invincibility. This is like another like you're only gonna use this in like crazy situation. Like maybe when you're fighting in the world, like oh fuck, I pulled too much shit. I'm gonna go invisible and run away and get out of combat and not fight these guys because they're gonna fuck me up. Or fucking like you're going invisible sometimes if you're like fighting somebody, but just understand it takes a second to go invisible. Like cast it when you get a chance. It and like you'll see that like you're not fully invisible yet. Now you're invisible. When it does that little spark and changes, you're invisible. But it takes a second. So don't use it like thinking that like the guy's right on me, I'm gonna go invincible. You have to blink away, create the distance, then go invisible. Because if they hit you while you're trying to go invisible in that second, it'll prevent the action. It's like how people can counter it.
Okay. So it can be interrupted
Right.
for that whole entire like.
Just it can be interrupted by action, essentially. It can be interrupted by like somebody's hitting you or a spell, not like an actual interrupt. Because that's a different thing. That's when like someone's spell casting and you interrupt them with like that 9 ability, just to not cause confusion between the two things. I don't know how to.
Spell book.
So.
Alright. So visibility. I'm not going to use that super common either. So I guess up here.
Yep. All right, and then
Polymorph. I don't know if I'll ever use that.
That is like a huge ability that you need to definitely figure out how to master, because what polymorph is going to let you to do, right? Let's say you got two big baddies, right, that are attacking you, and you're like, fuck, I can kill one of you, but I can't kill two of you. You poly one of them, right? And for a fucking like minute, I think in like PvP they only stay like that for a second, but for any actual guy, for a minute he stays as a fucking sheep, and then you can kill the other dude. And then, now that the other dude's dead, you can go back and kill your sheep dude. So that's what it's a huge CC. So then, like, think about this in PvP, right? If you are constantly using this ability, it has no cooldown, right? So the other team, you're in a 2v1, right? So you have a healer and you're a mage and you're fighting against somebody that's like, you're fighting against me as a paladin and I have a healer. You are constantly polying my healer, so he can't heal me. You're constantly interrupting him, and then for 6 seconds, I don't get any healing because my healer is a sheep. And then you're doing a bunch of damage to me. So it's definitely a super, like,
but
figure out how to master this.
Will actually affect large enemies?
That you will turn, no. So then, great point. Elites and stuff like that, in a raid, certain elites you can polymorph if it's supposed to be like the mechanic of the fight, right? Which is like, okay, Blizz, this makes a lot of sense. And then there's like certain elites that, like a boss, you're not going to be able to polymorph a boss, right? And then there's just certain elites out in the world that, like, no, you can't polymorph this guy. This guy's fucking an animal. But for the most part, you can polymorph anything. 99% of things can be polymorphed. Almost everything in a dungeon besides the boss can be polymorphed. But it's, again, like, you can't hit the creature that's polymorphed. So then, like, in a dungeon where everybody's doing AoE, it's not really the best thing to polymorph a guy unless they're like specifically calling it out and you're at like high end mythic plus dungeons and they're like, hey mage, the tank says like polymorph that guy. I'm going to pull the ads away from the sheep and we're going to fight over here and then we'll come back and kill the sheep afterwards. Unless like the tank has orchestrated this out in like Discord or something. So it's not like so much used. I don't know. You'll see. You'll get the use of it. It being on 4 is fine because we've got so many free abilities right now. All right, Ice Barrier. Go down to your first Frost abilities. These are all been mage abilities. This is a shield. So I don't know if this should be on Q or not. Like I've been looking at this and trying to figure out where the best place to put that on is. Every 60 seconds, you want to reapply that. Because what that makes it, right? So like let's say somebody comes up and sneaks on you, or you're just not paying attention and you pull an ad by accident, right? If you have that shield up, it's going to automatically slow them when they hit you. Even with a spell, whatever they fucking hit you with, it's going to automatically slow them, so it's going to let you run away and create distance right off the bat. It's gonna get like, oh shit, you hit me, you're slowed. I'm gonna go blink the fuck away. Now I'm gonna cast a frostbolt, and then I'm gonna continue to keep running because we just saw that frostbolt has like a 40-yard fucking range, and you want to keep that fucking range all the time with every single thing that you're fighting. But you also need to have some like wherewithal that like there's other shit in the world too, so you can't go so far that like you start pulling other shit and all this jazz. But it's like a nice little dance. I think we should go duel a little bit, and you can kind of see it a little bit, and then we'll queue into some dungeons. And so mount up and follow me.
So this is a 25-second cooldown, but the effects last for a minute. So this should just be up 100% of the time. Oh, but unless it takes that damage and then it breaks.
Right.
All right.
Yeah. So
cool. Hold on. Let's get through every spell that I have.
I think we did. The next one's a mastery spell.
Passive.
Yeah. What's that? What does it do though? Because that way I can read it to you, and I can kind of.
Casting Frostbolt or Flurry grants you an icicle. Casting Ice Lance causes all icicle storage. So this looks like a stack.
Yeah, so you just don't have all these abilities yet. What's your talents look like? Have you filled out your talent tree yet? Oh yeah, you just don't have anything. So you took that ice block over. So you probably could not take ice block. And like, I don't know, that one on the right I think is actually pretty good. And it just isn't just passively like make you increase damage over time.
It goes from 2 to 10%, like fluctuating.
Like yeah, cycling.
Over
I
10 seconds.
would take that over.
Yeah.
I would a 10% damage increase or even a 2% damage increase compared to a ability that's just going to make you. It does like nothing for you really, unless you're in PvP. All right, what's that one do?
Critical strike damage increase.
You can get that one later because you don't have that much crit right now. You're just brand new. So the flat damage increase is definitely better than crit damage increase when.
Where can I see where that's living?
Well, not once it applies. Does it say? Go back to the ability. Does it say anything about it, or even in your spell book? What needs to happen? Magical energy flows through you while in combat. So you need to be in combat. That's why we don't see it right now. Building up to 10%. So go attack a dummy with Frostbolt. And you just, the thing is so now you see it cycling, that you're in combat. It went right up to 5, and then I'm sure it slowly degrades. I don't know if you're like out of combat though. You got to just stay in combat. It's a cycling. You don't need to manage this. It's going to do what it does. You just need to do damage and stay in combat.
I want to watch it.
Yeah, no, I got you.
Oh, I see. So if I'm not in combat for 5 seconds, it'll disappear.
Yeah, and it's going to be cycling anyways. But all right, let's go and just come and duel me real quick, and just so you can get like the feel of like how much the slow is going to slow people. Hopefully it actually affects me. We can't duel here though, so you need to follow me. Oh my god, I'm on a red hippogriff. This is a night elf hippogriff from the flame world or some shit wicked long time ago. We're fucking playing Mario, I guess. I don't know. Running through fucking Stormwind. And you can't fly, so we gotta run.
Man, I already missed that so much.
You're gonna be able to fly in 3 seconds. We're gonna go do the Dragonflight quest to make it so you can fly. Okay. Where are you? Oh, Snapdragon. Kyle's an idiot. All right, hold on. I gotta go turn my war mode off because I can't see you as soon as we stepped out the goddamn door. Still can't see you. How the fuck is this happening? Oh, you came alive. We see you now. We see you now.
Oh, I should change my buttons.
Thought that's what we just did. This
Well,
game.
like, control bind, whatever.
I'm just fucking. Yeah. Come around. I'm not gonna do anything to you. I'm gonna stay as far away as possible, but just so you can kind of see how everything works.
It's like right here. Seems to be kind of where I want to be. Exit goal area.
Turn me into a sheep, man.
I did. That's fun.
But not for very long. And on
That's why I
actual
haven't.
on like PVE people, they'll be it for a minute. So now, actually, that does not slow me, but that could be because of my level, or actually, I am slowed. I don't even see my own debuffs.
I think your numbers are too big, bro.
Yeah, you're not gonna. I have PvP gear on, so you can't hurt me. Um, you can't, but you definitely slow me. Like, see now, this is running. You see how fast I'm moving right now? Are we still in a? Oh, there you go. Now you got your Frost Nova. Nice. Like that.
Still too close. I have to get further back. It's a hard thing to.
So yeah, see how that backing up is not good because when you back up, you walk about as fast as I walk when I'm slow.
I should be.
You got to use that strafe because when you're running, and now slow me down again. I'm too fast. I'll catch you.
Hold on this 30 seconds. So if I were.
Oh, there you go. That's good.
Yeah, I just think I could keep bindings on that, like to my mouse.
But you got to remember, so like when you frost me like that, as soon as you get probably like 5 or 10 yards away, you want to hit me with another frost bolt because you got to. What you need to figure out is how long that you're actually slowing me. You're worried about like other abilities and stuff here, but your Frostbolt's going to put a debuff on me. I need to see my debuff. The fuck? For I am not afraid. But debuff frame is over here. Why is it not red here? I still don't know why I don't see it when you slow me. Oh, there it is now. Okay, so it lasts for 6 seconds. So, like, between you and how far you run, now you're at 2 seconds. 1 second. I'm going to go fast again. Oh, there you go. Perfect. Actually, I was about to give you a hard time, but you did good there. Now you got me again.
So
Yeah.
time it's that you're staying
Right. That
slowed.
I'm always
That's
slow.
how you kite in this build, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, and then you just decided I deserve to die. Okay.
Yeah. Don't get close to me. Don't get close to me. I'm just kidding. I'm sorry. I'll
Keep
heal
my
you.
personal space, damn it.
There you go. I healed you. Flash of light just heals you all the way up. It's hilarious. We brought it back.
I've seen the other side.
So this is the problem with you going back all the time is that you're gonna run into a wall. You got to figure out how to kind of like go in a circle, and that's what I mean by dance. Here you go. Smart move. Smart move.
What? What happened?
I don't know. I'll reset for you.
Oh, I have to be looking at you. It's a detection. It's not just someone. So if I'm facing this way.
You can't. Right.
Yeah.
That's why when I duel people, like I'm gonna try to. Oh, look at you now! You see how far you don't really get away at all. You should. I'd take.
Oh, dude.
I'd take S off my key.
This is menacing.
Frost Nova, Frost Nova, Frost Nova, Frost Nova, Frost Nova, Frost Nova.
Oh, right, yeah. You're gonna hit that on the actual real button. That's just on 0 right now, just not a button I can use. Alright. Oh yeah, my misery. It's time to go set my mouse buttons.
Alright, yeah, go do what you gotta do, and then we can continue to do this jazz, or then we can also do a dungeon. This shit excites me because I know this is gonna get you good at PvP, and we can fuck motherfuckers up, dog. You and me in a BG all day, every day, dog. Motherfuckers can't escape me, dude, with you. You fucking lock a motherfucker down with your ice spells, and I come over the top with fucking the damage of God himself.
Okay.
I do like the name Adam Zero. I think that's Sub-Zero might have been a little bit of a better one, but probably one that you couldn't have gotten. But who knows?
One of my older handles was Atomic Zero when I was younger.
I like Adam Zero.
It predated the Infinite Zero handle.
I like Adam Zero because Arcane's supposed to be like really good, and Arcane is like the Titans use arcane power, right? And they formed Azeroth, in a sense, with what they call is like order magic, which is a variant of this fucking magic. So it's like it's like atomic magic is how to think of what the fuck is it? Arcane. So you get like arcane explosion. And that shit will drain your mana, by the way, too. Unless you're arcane, well, when you're arcane, your whole thing is mana management, so it still drains your mana as an arcane. But like, there will be times in dungeons where if like they pull a bunch of shit, if you go in there with arcane explosion, even if you're like a frost mage, I don't know if this is still how it works. There used to be like I think there used to be like a talent that made it do a bunch of shit, but it used to be like any mage could use that shit and you just start fucking blowing shit up. But I think it might be. Ba-da-ba-boo. Ba-ba-ba-da-ba-da-ba-ba. Ba-ba-ba-da-ba-da-ba-ba. Back in the day, this. Oh snap! We still got some dual culture. I got a feral druid coming out of somewhere. Where is he at? Where is he at? Where is he at? Come on, what you got? What you got? Oh, there's. That feral druid was definitely a joke. I don't know what this guy's doing here. You can't. Oh, I'm not in forest here, man. Can't let these motherfuckers think they can be friends with Alliance. Okay, that's not how this fucking game works. This is Warcraft. Oh my god, it won't let me enlist into war mode right now. Listen more that ice lance and all that other shit beginning, but
that's totally fine by me right now.
This class, it's the mage is the king of like, it's just one fucking spell you push, but it's like. Da, da, da. Oh no, you guys just killed him. So we're gonna even know what to do with the bars. I'm thinking that everybody else is the sync thing that's supposed to like. I'm thinking that everybody else is the sync thing that's supposed to like try to make it so that you left. Just fucking try to make it so that you left. Just fucking say you can fuck off to everybody. I could solo this place. Well, you gotta pick up your pace, okay? Gotta pick up your pace, okay?
The door closed.
Yeah. I'm just watching like chunks. Supposed to make it so 2,000 damage. That's great.
Okay.
Yeah, this is all part of that scaling thing.
2,000 health.
I wish I knew how to explain this to you, but it's not the. Yeah, that's the fastest I ever. And my last previous time was old record was 1 minute and 4 seconds.
Dude.
So we don't lose any level by me doing this. Other than the fact that I'm just running through things. Do you want me to slow down a little bit for you to have you catch up?
Well, let's blast through a couple dungeons and make them quick and easy, and I'll get a few more action bars or buttons on my bar that I can kind of
fuck around with. Okay, yeah, maybe this is a good way to.
Right now, there's not a lot of buttons that it's
to really see what the class does. Right, 100%.
Yeah.
Make sure you put in your new talent. I don't know if you already did that from your ding, because it's in your ice thing now. So you should get like an ability. I think you get like you still get your screen shared.
Here, I don't have this yet. There we go. What a bitch. The healer's a fucking pussy, dude.
Always is, man. Always is. my
Whatever, just QDPS.
This tank actually takes the most damage out of all tanks because I'm supposed to heal myself. Well, maybe Death Knights take a little bit more. I don't know, but like, I'm gonna put I don't
fall behind him.
I'm assuming it's just like this.
It's a lot like this.
There's somebody that's going to make a forum about me bitching about what I'm doing. That they hate that people queue into dungeons with good gear and just mass pull it while they're trying to level their friends while the rest of us are just trying content. You can literally just queue into heroics. We do have other level 70s in here, which is crazy. And that I'm a tank though, that's why.
2 million? Wait, no, that's 1 million.
I think I can actually mount here. Can I mount here? But these guys might get pissed off. I don't know if I can mount here. I can mount here. We're just gonna, I mount up, and I run to the fire guy. Kill everybody that's at the fire guy, I mount up and I run to the next fire guy and I pull everybody along with me and nobody should attack anybody. They should just all follow me because I should be the first person that they see. And then that makes it so then they all come to the next fire guy and then we kill them all. Mount up again, run to the next fire guy. Instead, Ben decides they're going to see him first and he's going to blink ahead and get there fast. Benjamin. Just came on my little dragon and overran you.
Yeah.
It's okay, Benjamin. Next time.
It's alright. I got this, fortunately. It's me and him. Hands.
We're just going to level you as fast. This is great. Does the lock and the pet interest you at all, or no?
Pet seems complicated. Like another thing to manage.
So a lot of its abilities are on auto ability, where it just uses its ability whenever it needs to. There's certain pets like there's like a fell dog that literally its ability, right? So like it just attacks people and it does its thing, just like another like a hunter pet would. Like you don't need to control it. and its ability just then it's for you to use. You can interrupt people, but that's like the only way a lock can interrupt people. But like a better example of this for like so like as a mage where you need to run around, you get a what's called a void stalker, right? And he tanks things for you. So all you have to do is tell him to attack the thing, and you just put like the action for him to attack something on your bar. You just like when you tab target over to it, you just say, "Hey, dude, attack." If you think you're a mage person and you don't like the pets, I'm not gonna fucking try to force you to play lock. I just think lock is the way to go because you don't have to be as mobile.
I see which ones I like.
Yeah. Well, you don't need to get them all. I guess level 48, I can see where maybe and you have like understand when the new X Pack comes out, there's just quests that you have to do. Like there's just a campaign like quest and shit. So like you have to do that shit to level. And like sure I can quest with you and I'll have alts and shit and I can help you out or whatever and jazz. But like that's just like a thing. It's like hours, you know what I mean? And more of a thing you just got to do on your own time when you feel to play the game and all that jazz. But that will like unlock all the major shit in the next expansion, and then like once you do it on one class it's done on all the classes. Like you used dude it used to be so bad. You used to have to like, oh, I did the campaign on my fucking paladin, now I go on my make me pull my fucking hair out.
I wonder if it really is like a level unlock thing, because
And then this is the other thing that's going to happen too, which is a good thing to kind of like note down. So I would say play all these classes, figure this out, but once the expansion pack comes out, stick to one class, right? That you're going to play and that you're going to level all the way to 80. Doesn't need to still be your main. Like you can be like, I'm going to go back to these other, and basically what that does, I think I might have, shit, what am I doing? So what this is going to do is it's going to make it so that like the first level 80 that you get makes the next character that you get like, let's just throw the number out. I think it's 5%, 5% more XP in every single thing that they do. So second character to do it, you're going to get another thing that says Warband Mentor, and the next one's going to get 10% fucking buff leveling fucking your ult. So does that make sense? Why you should? Yeah, it's just gonna those those things are gonna stack so crazy high. You're also gonna get familiar with the game. I'm gonna get crazy good gear, and then we're gonna be able to do dungeons like this, but you're gonna be getting like 10% more fucking shit, and then we just get them all into end game content, and then you can kind of just fuck around with them all from there. This one is the fucking one of the month. I feel like the most badass on this guy, so this is the guy I'm playing probably the most. Type of character, like class shaman, but shaman's a fucking hard ass class to play, and maybe evoker's a hard ass class to play. Build with shaman and then and it's not that hard and da 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 da. Da. Maybe what I should say is like in PvP, it's usually like kill blue, right? But like when in doubt, kill blue, which just means like if you don't know what target to kill here, oh, this motherfucker knows what to fucking do to play shaman, and he fucks you up and makes you look like a goddamn little child. Like it's like you're not even playing. It's like a mage, but I don't. It's so instead of blink, right? You get a crazier ability. You can turn into a ghost wolf, right? And then that ghost wolf is like a mounted ability, and you can just do this in combat, right? It's kind of like a druid, and it just increases your movement speed by like 30 or 40%. And I think there's like then a PvP talent that makes it so like when you run around in ghost wolf, you like right. So that is how you got to kind of build your separation, and then you got to build these totems and shit like that. But I just fucking target the shit out of people's totems, and I think that that fucks them up. Like people are not used. That's like an old classic totems, and some motherfuckers do, and they fuck with me. But I don't know. It's a hard class to play. Probably over explaining it, but In dungeons, like you're gonna be able to clear high rated that shit. Come PvP, they're all gonna be some type of learning curve. There's just whatever it is. Um, Lock? I feel like lock is not that hard either, but maybe it's a little bit difficult. I don't know which one to gauge more, if a lock or invoker is more difficult, but I can definitely tell you that I think a mage is probably the easiest.
This seems to be the general consensus.
Basically, it's like figure out when to use those abilities and such, and like it'll be like other things that, and I feel like you basically have this like window that just continuously keeps coming up. Like it's basically like looks that you can almost extend that window to like 30 or 45 seconds. So then you have just like this 10, 15 seconds of, I don't want to say downtime, but you're not doing that much damage compared to when you're in this window. And I think that that's how the majority of that class works. Mage is very much about kind of windows. So like I wouldn't say this. So Windows is some way to put it, but so fire, right? Fire works off fishing for crits. Basically, you have a couple of abilities that always crit, and you cast fireball, right? So when you're casting fireball and fireball crits, then you cast one of these other abilities, and then it makes this fireball ability that's pyroblast be instant. And this pyroblast ability hits way harder than fireball, and it always crits. So we can't. We gotta leave this group. I think this is like a glitch, or they just like don't let me like just run people that we don't know through fucking dungeons over and over again. It says it literally will say like I can't join the party. Such a weird thing. All right, here we go.
Still loading up.
What did we get you there? We get you to level 12, level 13. Oh shit, dude, you're level 15 already, Doug.
Just rolling. We're rolling through.
I don't know why I was using party sync before. Fuck that. Fuck that. That is the dumbest thing WoW has ever created in the world. I thought it was giving you like some stupid benefit. Like you were getting way more XP or something. Or there was like a punishment for me doing this at high level. I feel like I wasted 2 days of our lives, so I apologize. It's all right. I don't know why I never tested it until today. That was probably a mistake. Oh wow, we were waiting on you all that time? Thanks.
Yeah. I didn't even see it pop up. I was looking at my bar. I now have Blizzard.
This game is so easy, it's ridiculous. Probably in my stream, if someone doesn't realize that I'm like just, oh no, it says like leveling mage. So, never mind. We should definitely. I probably look like a bot.
Right there.
I was saying if someone just jumps on the stream and they see this, they probably think like I'm like either cheating or the game is like broken or something. Because
without the context.
Yeah, without the context that like, oh, we're like low leveling a mage, or I'm like in low level dungeons leveling a mage. Because this is ridiculous. Now I'm doing 153,000 damage. It's like as your level goes up, it's gonna start to let me do more. I have no idea. His health is just melting, melting, melting. Melted that dude. Ba-ba-ba-da-da-da-da. Ooh, look at you and some new shoulders. Ooh. This guy is starting to get cool, dude. Starting to get cool. I'm just gonna pull.
Should have done the slow fall there.
Oh, probably. Probably.
Oh, I clipped the wall on the blink. No.
I'm just gonna continue to pull the whole dungeon. Every time we're just pulling the dungeon. Pull that dungeon ball. Pull it all, 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 pull it all. Oh my god, dude. You think we're gonna kill this guy?
No, we don't stand a chance.
I
This
don't
is gonna
think
be a wipe.
this guy's fucking. Oh man, that was so
Oh, he
close.
just went over.
Ooh, ooh,
I wasn't
ooh, ooh!
expecting
I got
that.
something I can give to you. Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? But I actually think I might have another thing I can give to you too in a second. I don't know if this actually is good for you. This might be. Where are you?
Or is level 70.
Bum, bum, bum. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Oh no. You may only trade players things that are on their loot table. So, right. That's why that's not good for you. Doesn't do anything for you. It was a trinket, but it had a bunch of haste on it, and I thought that your haste is just good for you right now because oh my god, somebody pulled this Magnum guy back here. Oh my god, and then they pulled this guy. Pulled all these fucking garbage people.
Oh, I can. So Blizzard is a click to.
What is it?
See, you put down a circle.
Me?
Blizzard. I'm learning how the new spell I got works.
Oh, yes. Oh, so then we gotta. Oh, this is good stuff. Yes, because after this dungeon, we'll queue out of this, and then I'm going to show you a macro to help you with that so that you don't have to click twice. That basically you can just put your mouse on the screen and it's going to cast where your mouse is all in one button click. So I'm telling you, it's how you want it. You definitely, the double clicking and then dodging mechanics and all this shit, it's up to you. But
I was struggling with that a lot with the big breath thing, the dragon strike.
okay, 100%. This is, I'm telling you, this is how I do it, and it makes it so
I'm
much
surprised
easier.
it's just no quick cast.
No, dude, that's too cool. Quick casting is too cool.
It is.
I'm not even going the right way here. Let's. Oh, you guys are all trying to fight some stuff back there?
Is there not another guy here that we need to kill?
Oh, I was just like, where is everybody? I don't know if I left somebody back there. What's happened? For I am not afraid. Bum 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 bum. This is actually good too because it gets me used to playing my paladin tank, which I'm gonna probably be doing a bunch of in fucking War Within. That's what I need to be watching videos of is fucking the dungeons. See if anybody has any like tips and tricks.
Yeah, dude, you're studying.
Right, like the new ones. That's one reason why I don't like to tank at first. I like to DPS and then I like watch other people tank and then you just learn like you're like, oh, you know what you're doing and this guy doesn't know what he's doing. And then you just do the things that the tanks that know what they're doing are. Boo, 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 doo, doo. Guilds are great for that, really, but my guild's a PvP guild, which I'm probably going to change. But I think I'm going to leave one guy in there out of my 4 guys. Probably my Demon Hunter. He's primarily going to be PvP. Actually, though, they're so good in Mythic. If I was one of them right now, the thing is he doesn't have good gear, and I don't know how to play him either. So there's multiple things of that factor. But they are the fastest tanks in the game just because they have mobility and they have leech and they just every ability that they do is AoE damage. But I just don't know how to play him all the way. He's not hard, but this is easy. I know exactly what I need to do. I literally have to, it's a
You are shitting me. Blink will not go over a surface.
there is some glitches. Bum, 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 bum.
Well, I roast. Oh, get out of here.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
you're gonna die, dude.
I have to die. There's no way out. Unless that's the way out.
Just stay alive for a second while we kill this boss, because I don't want you to be dead while this thing is about to die. I didn't realize you're like way behind us.
Well, I fell down the...
Dungeon's over now. Did you get at least a... You're level 17. You can just leave now. And I'll heal you when we get out of here.
I healed when you completed the dungeon.
Oh, because you know what happened? You leveled. Magic.
Yep. Fucking dang.
All right, so you need to have a macro. Oh boy. I think I might have to log on. I don't think I have. Let me see. All right, I'm just gonna post this and then in the Discord, and then I'll show you how to use it. All right, you're gonna have to copy it out. It's gonna be kind of written like I'm gonna use different characters for certain things that are like not in. If it's actually in parentheses, you don't type the parentheses. Okay. Fucking Mario today or something. I don't know why I keep fucking saying that. over and over again. Something wrong with me. All right, here we go. Add cursor. This is very simple form here, right? There's more you can add to these things. You can make some crazy ones. Guess I'm a macro coder, you know? Like, maybe you should get a job in macro coding. So basically just copy that out and then delete the shift click spell in book, but that's where you're going to shift click a spell and put it into your book or you highlight it or whatever. Oh, and then you're going to need to see where to do this. Hit escape on your thing to get that and then go to macros and then go to new at the bottom and then leave it on question mark and you can type Blizzard as the name of this. Because it's the Blizzard spell, but you can change that to whatever you want to ever change it to. And then, yeah, copy and paste that code that I sent you. You got it. You got this. You got this. Ben Stone.
So then what do I do with this?
You gotta just delete where that shift area stuff is. So just either type or whatever. Yeah. You don't need those parentheses either. You need to delete those parentheses. And you got to do, and then
Blizzard?
Open up your spell book. Open up your spell book. And shift click Blizzard, which is in your Frost. There it is. Oh, you might need to be back in your macros now. Click back on the macro tab to get like back in that window. There you go. And you need to do it for the top.
It goes in the true name of it.
It goes into that top one too on both lines. And then hit save. And then now drag that out like if it was like in your spell book and put it where your Blizzard is, right on 5 key. And now right click, get that away. Now close everything out. And now hit 5 and put your cursor where you want to cast it. And then click 5. Look at that. Look at this, dude. We're going to make you a professional mage in one day. In just one day. In just one day. Dude, you're getting freaking mage macros here that people don't know for fucking 10 years of playing this game, dude. Bam. Tell me that doesn't feel so much fucking better, dude. Tell me that doesn't feel so much fucking better. Way better. So much fucking better, right? Oh, I love it. I love watching you do it because I know it. I know that's so much better. Awesome. Oh, I don't know why it's not. I don't know why they don't just make things like that in Blizzard games. I don't know why. Why we still have that fucking green thing and all that jazz. Nobody needs all that jazz. Beautiful. But like, yes, that's gonna do some crazy shit, dude. Those Blizzard spells kind of, I think, hit almost like your Frostlance spells work, right? So like, I mean, you're casting that Blizzard shit and you're still casting your fucking Frost bolts. I'm just saying that I think they both can make things proc eventually. So you're getting a ton of these procs at certain points in time and shit. So, yeah. We doing another dungeon? Or you want to? What do you?
Well, no.
Yeah.
Just need to put 5 somewhere on my mouse.
You also need to like put in some talents here. So I'm going to look at some talents for you. Actually, this is what I'm going to do for you, okay? Just read what these things do all the time. Okay. This is okay. No one is a genius, Benjamin, okay? You do need to know what these things do though because it's going to help you play better, okay? So I'm sending these things to you. This is just the website. Okay, website's somewhat important, but the big important thing, Jesus Christ. This is the big important thing here. this is looks like just random nothing, right? Right below here. You can take this text, right? Copy it,
Mm-hmm.
go to where that little down arrow is. Sorry, I know you said give me a second. Do you need to go?
It'll automatically do it. This is like Blitz. I've seen you about that.
Yeah. So, and the thing is that every single time you level now, you can just keep putting this same code in, and it's gonna slowly build you out until you're what the uh, the pros are using or whatever. So, like now you got a whole bunch of different abilities here. So they decided to give you, I guess they want you to have that fucking ice block, but whatever, not a big deal. They give you that draw power from within the dealing. Let me read it real quick. Okay, so what this does, this is an important thing. So that is, it's like you're not going to be using it right off the bat type of thing, but it's the last part that matters here, right? Like it's the damage is probably really minimal, right? But while channeling your mage ability cooldowns are reduced by 12 seconds over 3.8 seconds. So I'm assuming like you do like this burst window thing, right? This is like what I've heard about mages. And then once like all your cooldowns are all fucking tapped, you're tapping this thing to try to bring them back faster. So that's what that does. It's that end part that's important on that one. So I don't know if you need that like right on your action bars. I'm not sure where you need it, but it's definitely like an important ability. Um, and then that frozen orb, that's fucking good shit too. We might need to make a macro for that. See what happens when you hit 6 or whatever your 6 key is. Oh, nope, it just launches it. Okay, great. So basically, all right. Now that I guess I think it's good. You're gonna get more abilities to how that thing works, right? But if you saw it, just it like shot straight out there, and then it almost seemed like it stops at the end there, and then it just kind of dissipated. At some point, it doesn't just like dissipate. You get like a talent or something, where it kind of like just sits there, and it like you got to think of this like kind of like bowling, right? Where you want that orb to go and sit, you want your blizzard to be on the same thing. I don't know how people do it, but they do it that way. I don't know if it becomes like a castable thing on your cursor at some point. Maybe they cast frozen orb out to there and it's a lot easier than I'm making it out to be. Then it's like bowling, like that you have to actually like kind of hit them spot on. But that's the idea between those two abilities. You're basically creating like an orb tornado inside of a fucking blizzard. Both these things are hitting at the same time. That you're going to that ability is going to be important. You want to put that near take number 2 now can go somewhere else. That was it was seemed like it was important before. You're probably barely going to use that now, but because now you're starting to figure out frost way more. So you're going to get more into your frost abilities. You just think of it as like you're mastering your class now or your spec. A good time when Fire Blast is good. Let's say you get interrupted, right? Fire Blast is a different school of magic than Frost. So you can always, like, if you're interrupted, you're probably interrupted in Frost magic. So then you can cast Fire magic, or you can cast Arcane Explosion, which is Arcane magic. You'll only ever be locked out of one school of magic, but this is like PvP, high end dungeons. Like, this isn't going to be happening to you on the regular. It's just like something to know. That, yeah, you have that on your bars though. That is a good one. That spatial rift is good. The best thing about you is the pre-maternal calm, I think. One of the things where it's like, is that the one where like when you take damage, yeah, your casts are no longer delayed? Like that's fucking what? Other people, dude, so like they're casting Frostbolt, and let's say I fucking hit you with my axe, their Frostbolt like goes back a half a second. So it takes an extra half a second to cast it. And if you're like a rogue or something where you hit really fast, sometimes you can get like 2 half a seconds kickbacks. So the fact that that can't happen to you is huge. Definitely one of the better classes to be, or better races to be a mage.
Yeah, it seems like it would mesh well with the full stealth.
Yeah. Well, so they get this ability, which I think makes them better for PvP, and the Nightborn elves, which are on the Horde side, they get more damage to all magical abilities, which I think is probably extremely minimal. It probably like you probably the player probably is a bigger impact than what that talent does. Like nobody can be like, oh, it's because you have that fucking racial. That's why you're. You know what I mean? It's more like if you had two guys that were even, then that ratio might squeeze somebody out by 1%. But yeah, you down? Let me know what you want to do. Been having a blast with you,
I want to
Benjamin.
put something on my QNE because I'm out of buttons on my mouse.
You need
So probably
we need to get you a Red Dragon mouse so bad, and then life will be so much better for you, Benjamin. So much easier.
I know. Choose again.
Everyone
Red Dragon mouse.
don't need the wireless one. It's like $35. Oh yeah, I forgot you had that bad electrical bill, dude. So I feel bad. I shouldn't just keep saying these things. I get it. Money is a thing.
Yeah, it's just normally I'm down to do that. You caught me on the tail end of a bunch of impulsive decisions, and then a surprise. Too many zero electric bill.
No, I hear you. I think well the thing and then the thing that's tough is like usually like I can really sell it on people that like they're just using a regular mouse and they don't even have like what you have right now with your 6 buttons. But because you already have 6 buttons, you're like, I do have something that kind of does this for me in other games. You know what I mean? It's not like it's like, dude, this is a game changer.
It's like
for
I'm
every
going
game.
from one game. Well, like, there's only one game where this is a problem. You know what I mean? So it's
Right,
a bit tougher. So I'm like 80% there.
right.
Uh,
I totally get it.
Red
Totally
Dragon.
get it.
Red Dragon. What's it called? I can't find this damn thing. Oh, there it is.
And like
Sponsor.
the thing is though, dude, like what we did talk, like you don't have any self-healing abilities on a mage, right? So maybe like this until you get a time to get that other one, like just don't play evoker, play mage and play warlock, and then you can use your alt key, and that gives you like 18 abilities. Like you're gonna get some more abilities, dude, but like you got the majority of your abilities is those 1, 2, and 3 and 5 and 6 when you're in like an AoE ability. But when you're like fighting a boss, I think single target, you're not really going to be using 5 or 6 unless you get like something that there's just stuff that I might not know about with mage or whatever, but it's going to be like something procs that makes Blizzard do like 200% more damage. And that's why you're using Blizzard now. It's not going to be like a normal thing. 1, 2, and 3 are going to be your main cycling. Just like my things are, it's 3 abilities that I cycle through. And then my other, it's like 5 is my finisher, or 4 is my AoE finisher. gets you. You know what I mean? Those types of things. But whatever. I mean, she's gonna live and learn. You know. I think. Mistakes happen. No big deal. Means they build that relationship there too. That's not like there's no reason to ever be like that about it, you know? Killing it, Carl. All right, sorry, dude. I walked away from a second. I don't even know if I told you I was walking away for a second. I was letting the dog out. I don't know. What are you buying here?
Mouse is in the cart. I got one. Okay, it's $30 for the wireless one.
That's,
got all the buttons.
yeah, see, you're buying the wireless one. I got the wired one.
The wireless one is $5 more, and this way I can just plug it on to the side of my monitor or some shit. Keep this mouse for that one thing tucked away somewhere, and then choose what I'm playing while.
Yeah, shit, yours is wired wireless? Oh shit, mine is wireless too. Oh damn, I didn't realize mine was. I just looked at your thing and I was like, wait, this comes out of there? And it works like that? That's hilarious.
What?
It's wired wireless.
Yeah, you can pick.
Yeah, I just read wired when I bought it and I didn't read the wireless. Oh, no. What?
There is a wired version.
I guess I was just using the wireless one and I was charging it thinking it was wired the whole time. I must have plugged in the dongle somewhere. Dongle's got to be in there somewhere because it works without it plugged in. So I don't know how that's happening. But that's hilarious.
That's why, because that's the wireless dongle.
Yeah, but then it's also wiredly plugged into the back of my. I must have been moving things around. It was like stone. I have no idea when I did this. Whatever.
That's hilarious. You bought
Uh, I just recently bought this mouse, like maybe a month, but I would say it's like right on a month. Because I bought all new shit for the new expansion, dog. I'm all brand new because my shit was all getting old. All my shit was from fucking like 10 years. I don't know, like a long time of me playing World of Warcraft. So, like I was like, maybe I need to buy some new stuff. It may not have been the mouse may have not have needed to be a brand new one, but it actually worked out in good timing because my touchpad on my work laptop broke, so now I have two mices. Two mices is always just if a mouse dies, it's always nice to have another mouse. That's
Mm-hmm.
look
So
at
when
that.
I have these like little dongle plug-in thingies, right? You stick them in the USB-C port, and then they become like like a MagSafe type deal. You
Yep.
like get it close and it snaps in. So because it lives on wireless, you don't need data, so you get those charging ones for like relatively cheap. And so my mouse, I can just put it near the cable, it'll connect, and I can use it wirelessly. It's easy, tuck it out of the way, and do that for the headset that I use at work too. So it's just like a quick snap in to charge. It's not a pain in the ass. All right, well that'll be here tomorrow, and then I can use
That's
that.
yeah. And then I'm telling you that is going to be a fucking game changer. It is going to be
I
a game
believe it.
changer. And especially like, dude, if you can, I mean, you don't even need an orb weaver. Like I'm just seeing it right now. Like I guess like if you get A and D right as your strafe. You're moving forward with this. You figure out how to kind of like move your mouse and turn your body around with your like the mouse and the camera there, right? And you got tab, and then you have like control shift all with those 12 abilities right there. Like you're pro. And then, dude, you know what the thing so on my that I'm just realizing on my orb weaver, which like I can kind of see how you can just do this on a keyboard too. So Z, X, C, and V, right? Those here, let me share my screen because this is like with all my characters, no matter what they are. Ba, 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 da, 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 da. World of Warcraft, go live, back into WoW. So, I mean, this guy's all fucked up, right? But tell me when you can see me. It
Right
doesn't,
in Discord. There we go.
I don't know if this really all that matters, but like, so like fucking right here, like C is like right below where I drop down. So that's like a major like defensive cooldown, just like how you have that like ice block. So like just imagine like Z, X, and C, like where you could drop down and like Z can be your ice block or one of those like crazy defensive abilities. Like Z is my like turns me into this crazy fucking thing. Damage taken reduced by 50%. Like, which I never use this, but and then you can have like I don't know, just a few little stuff there that I don't know if that works for you, but I'm just saying like in that general area, if you stay to that area and then you have the 12 of your like actual abilities there, I feel like that gives you a lot to then not have an orb weaver. But I won't lie, orb weaver's the fucking shit. It's just the fucking shit.
Well, I think I think it's the that's the Razor one, right? Razor Wood Weaver.
Yeah, well now it's the Tartarus Pro is what I actually have. And I had the yeah, I had the Razor or they're both orb weavers. They're both made by Razors, what I mean to say. But I don't think they make the orb weaver anymore. I think that's you might be able to find it on Amazon, but I think it's old. Fuck, I gotta let the dog.
Oh, holy shit! This is funky as hell.
I'm telling you, it just makes it so it's straighter on your hand. So sorry, Benjamin, I'm coming back here. All right. So the thing with the Taurus and an orb weaver, right? So a keyboard and its keys are set up for typing, right? Obviously, like that's the main function of that. But if you look at like the Taurus or whatever the fuck this thing is, the Taurus, I gotta assume that's how you say it. All the keys are in perfectly line, right? So when you're put your hand on that, right? And it's 5 keys long, even though your thumb goes on the side to where your jump is, and you kind of slide your fingers along the thing. You can slide up and down. You know, like it's very. Whereas, like on a keyboard, you can tell it's different. I don't know. I guess it's hard for you to do it because you don't have one in front of you. But when I have it in front of me, it is so much nicer. It's and never mind. Then I bought the expensive $130 one that has like the buttons feel like triggers for like a video game controller, and it feels so much. It's such a stupid thing, but that's why somebody pays the money. I was just like, fuck it, I'm gonna do it. I think I actually bought it used with that feature though, so it was like actually $75 or 70 or $80. About like the open box special. Rambling again. Let me know when you're ready for a dungeon. What are you looking at? Is that what you're looking at?
The thumbstick, you got a button underneath.
That's my jump button. That's your
You're
space
like
bar.
the Matrix.
That's my space bar, dog. You don't even have to push. Dude, I'm telling you, this is the fucking. I don't know how.
That's peak, dude.
I don't know how people don't have one of these. It's the greatest fucking thing. So good. Like, dude, I was playing Once Human. I don't know if you've seen that like survival game. This thing crushes Once Human with the amount of different fucking hotkeys that you need to do to like survive and like, oh, I gotta cut this tree down. Oh, I gotta go over here and build this building, and oh, now I gotta repair the building. Whatever the fucking shit is. But I am ready to queue if you are ready to queue.
I'm just gonna mangle my bar here and we'll adjust it again tomorrow to be better. Alright, so just quick buying mode.
I think you should go and hit because that mastery ability that you first had, and you were like, "What does this do?" Let's go hit the dummy, and you can see how this is gonna flow now because your class is you're flushed out a little bit now.
Yeah.
But, yeah, no, sorry, you're fine. I don't mean to ever rush you. And also, a lot of the time with this some of these classes become and like there will be more intricacies into it, but as you level it's like it's slower and you're not going to get as many procs, and then and that's on purpose, and then as like the season goes on or as we get gear, as everything in the whole, everybody always gets faster and just more procs are happening, and you just got to kind of learn the rotation. Bum 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 bum.
Alright, where you say these dummies were?
Uh
I know, so
oh,
all the way around.
Jesus, I flew there. That's another
How
thing
can I
that
fly?
that's another thing. Let's
Can
go.
I fly it?
We need to go do that. Let's do that before we do a dungeon. But come learn your thing yet. I'm gonna fly to you. I'm gonna be there in 2 seconds. Ba 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 da ba da ba. Get on your mount. You're such a little baby with no mount.
I did. Went away.
All right. Do you remember where we were last time or no? I'm just changing specs real quick. It's gonna take me a second. Yeah, you know. Flying, flying, flying. Ba, ba, ba.
I can like keep up.
Yeah, because we're on mounts, dude. Oh yeah. Oh, because you probably maybe get to like level 15 and increase your ground mount speed. I don't know. No idea. Bum, bum, bum.
Big.
All right. So I'm gonna try to watch you here. You're see how now these things are procking? Boom, boom, boom. Let me see. All right.
Like these multiple hits.
Yeah, so like hit 3 right now. Oh,
Alright,
you're
so
hitting
icicle.
Blizzard. Yep. So basically, right, you can only stack up to 2 icicles, right? So you need to nope, don't use icicle now. Yeah, use icicle when you have the proc. And you get the proc when you see it on your screen. When
So
it's
this
like
is my stacks of icicles up there.
I have no idea what those are. You're gonna have to read what that does.
Those gotta be it.
No, it's
Or and then
icicle stored.
yep.
How come you don't have that glow thing before? Before you had like a glow. That. What is that doing?
Right. So see up
Nope.
here we
Nope.
got
Go over. Go over to the
this
left.
one right here.
Nope. 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 What's the next thing over? There you go.
Yeah,
Fingers of.
this one.
Nope.
Yeah.
No, Ben.
Oh, this
It's.
thing.
Yep.
It's the
There you
far
go.
left.
It's gone. So, yep. We don't know what that thing says, but that's what it's. That's what it is, Ben. That's what gives you that golden thing. Just reading this things.
Well, no, this is the
Benjamin.
icicle stack we were just talking about. So that's the counter for that.
Right, right, right. And then when I'm trying to figure out what makes it glow. I don't know if you're supposed to use it like before I said you can only get 2 icicle stacks. That's not true. You got like 5 now. What is
I think
what
stacks to
does
5.
what does the glow thing do though? Is what I want to know. It makes it so it casts what as if it was like I literally get to the very end of it. There it is. Now read it real quick.
Yeah, it's when it's frozen.
What is it? What does it do?
Ice damage or ice lance damage is triple against frozen targets. So when I use a
Oh my
blizzard
gosh!
or
Can
this
you
ice wall, I think it freezes.
Can you read the thing? Your ice lance deals damage as if the target were frozen. So basically, what that's saying is that when those are glowing, even if the target's not frozen, it's going to deal damage as if it was frozen. So it only does 58 damage when you cast it normally, and you can cast it all the time, it seems like, but it deals substantially more damage when it's procced. And then I'm wondering, does it deal more damage when you have icicles to go with it? So I think like you definitely want to have those icicles stacked, but you probably don't want to be using it unless it procs. I really think you don't want to use it unless it procs. Quickly fling shreds of ice at the target. Yeah, it's tripled against frozen targets. So you're doing 3 times the amount of damage when it's. What's that one do? Unleash a flurry of ice, striking the target 3 times for a total of 151 damage. Each hit reduces the target's movement speed by 70%. 1 second applies much of chill to the target.
So I need to be using flurry. This does the frozen shit.
I think though, I'm pretty sure. So that's on a 30-second cooldown. So I'm pretty sure that that like procs. I mean, maybe you can use it right at the start, and then you gotta yeah. Then and now you switch back to Frostbolt. So do you see how you put a debuff on him? You're not getting that debuff now. There's no debuff. He's not frozen. Now you can use that thing because you got a proc of it, and then you got to go back to Frostbolt. And then watch when you use flurry again, I'll show you. And I got to assume that you're going to get more talents that are going to cause you to make people frozen more. So then that way you can use this ice lance more, because this ice lance is just definitely going to be like super big damage, but only when it's hitting for triple. Because oh, see how that white Nova thing on the top? Jesus, I didn't realize you used flurry again. We're gonna have to wait. Nope, it wasn't over there. It's on top of the boss or the guy that you're attacking. Oh, there you go. Smart man. Look at this. This guy's being a
Oh,
pro mage already, dude.
I'm
Love it.
basically a mage in real life. So,
Dude, love it.
so I use that and
And
then
then
get
see, yeah, look at that. Taking damage as it's frozen. Oh, so that doesn't even show you that it's frozen yet. So you still do not have the abilities to make people frozen yet.
I guess
Oh,
not
wait,
before
go
tier
over
8.
and use Frost Nova. Go use, yeah. Oh, click on this other guy. Click on the little small guy that actually. Oh, it probably just. I don't think that he's frozen. Does Frost Nova says it freezes a target?
Freezes them in place.
Yeah, but I think that frozen is going to be like a debuff. You're going to get like a. Your abilities are going to do a debuff, and you just can't do that right now. It's like you're getting things slowly. Do you have more talents? You know what?
Damage.
You know what? Ah,
That did triple damage. So it worked.
oh, it did work.
I think it did.
Smart man of how to test this
So
again.
if I did that, and then that's 160, and regularly I throw 54. So
Yeah.
I didn't have any icicles or anything like that. So I mean, it's going up and down based on the
Right.
cycle thingy.
I think the ice
it's about a third, about 3 times.
right, and I think the icicles do help it too. I don't think you need to like manage your icicles though. Like you know what I mean? I think it's more of a web and flow of just like
Intention of glowing.
yeah, of glowing things, really. Um I mean, I think it's nice to know that like Frost Nova does make them frozen, so then that way, you know you can throw one of those at somebody if they're like low or something, and they're like in the last second thing trying to kill somebody. I mean, this is so here's remember when we were doing as dragons? So they're like in PvP, things definitely do change, right? Where like maybe sometimes Frostbolt's not the best thing to be casting right now, even though it's like the best damage thing to get you to get a proc, and you're using the other thing because the rogue is on top of you right now, and you have to hit him with the Frost Lance because you don't want him to interrupt you. You know what I mean? Like that's like we should just probably focus on PvE first.
Yeah, let's limit the scope to that for now.
Yeah.
Once I'm really comfortable in dungeons, we can maybe watch me go get slaughtered in PvP.
Do you not know what my class does, dude? I think that sometimes you forget who I am. Okay? I'm gonna come over to you real quick. I'm gonna give you some crazy things. Like let's see this one here. Now I can only give oh Jesus, which spec am I? I am ret. Right. I can only give one of these every 5 minutes, okay? But I have two different versions of this. Oh, hold on, I gotta put this on oh, that was the wrong button, but it's okay.
Just casually healed that guy for 1,000,000.
Yeah, just casually healed him for a ton. But
I have
so
that.
you have this right now. This makes you immune to all physical damage. If we are fighting a rogue, oh snap! He just got all those poisons and all those dots on you and cast all his cooldowns. Oh my god, I bop you, they all go away. It's crazy. He just had the worst day of his life and he's about to get murdered. I also have another one, but I can't cast it because they share the same cooldown that will block you from any magic damage. I also cast it on myself. I got a bubble. I also do crazy nonsense like this, where like, um, oh, actually, can I have a two-handed weapon so I can actually use my abilities when I'm trying to be cocky? I'm just kidding, but like I can heal you fucking constantly. Like this is, I'm doing damage, but I'm healing you. I don't know if you can see, but you're getting huge heals. You have 4,000, 17. This actually heals more based off your missing health, which is a crazy talent that I have. So the fact that you have full health. But we can fuck shit up. I can give you this, which makes you, if someone's trying to slow you, you're now free. I can fucking come over and blind them. Like when we play Battlegrounds, we're going to play random Battlegrounds against dumb idiots. And where I just like I can go into the I'm not trying to toot my own horn. I go into these and I just it's like, oh, I want to just win, right? And I just want to dominate people. So that's why I'm playing this. But like when we go in there, I'm just going to be following you around trying to help you figure it out and like being like your pocket protector. Like just oh, this guy thinks he's about to fuck with you. I'm fucking with him. We're not going to be focused on objectives or winning really. We're just going to be focused on you killing people.
Combat skills.
Yeah, yeah. And then like once you're good with that shit, then we go and we try to focus on fucking let's win some fucking games and have some fucking fun. But I don't mind mythic dungeons too, which if it sounds like you kind of like dungeons, so I think we're going to fucking
Yeah,
I
those are nice.
yeah, I'm just not a big raider. I don't like this fucking like 3 hours of like, oh, on Tuesdays and Thursdays every fucking day I gotta go do this raid. I just like, hey, you want to jump in a couple dungeons right now? And like, sure. And if there's like, I think that this will be a cool thing too, where like how I was saying, like I'm not familiar with this dungeon because it didn't drop any gear for me, right? You could be like, oh, dude, we gotta run this dungeon because it drops some shit for me, and then I gotta get familiar with it. You know what I mean? So it kind of just I like that type of shit. So whatever. Explore it, it makes the game bigger for me. Are you ready, Ben? We
Let's
queuing?
do it. Hewitt.
I don't know when you're ever done. I know we're at like 2 hours now, so I know you can't
I got
play.
more life left in me. It encouraged me to have to run something over to the FedEx store before the end of the day.
Definitely, I feel like if we can get one day in with you using a token, that would be nice. But you also have to be like familiar with the class, I guess. So it's like it's tough. And then you're gonna use this token that like, oh, I'm familiar with this class, and then all of a sudden now this class has all this other shit. All right. Oh shit, I'm cute as a tank, and I'm fucking.
I don't think it matters. I'll be honest.
Do you think I just could come in here as Rhett and just do everything?
I think you could play Hewitt as healer and you'd be okay.
I don't even know where my shield is, dude. Here it is. Well, I need to have certain weapons equipped or I can't use my abilities, so that's a problem. And it puts me in tank mode automatically, so. But it doesn't equip my weapons automatically, which I think is really ridiculous. I'm gonna be really ridiculous and see if we can just pull all this shit right to the boss. I just don't even care. Come at me, all of you.
Dash.
These guys don't die now. They got some big giant absorb shields or some shit. This is the one thing that's I hate that we keep getting this one and there's like stationary targets in this circle. Because all the other bosses I can pull like right to the boss. And then this one I gotta go around these circles and kill these fire dudes. And I'm pretty sure if I don't kill these fire dudes, they just put bombs on us that will probably kill other people. But they do die really fast. I think also now that we know that party sync doesn't matter and that you, because basically the game's XP right now is set up like how it's going to be set up for War Within. So you're getting the XP that you're going to get when the expansion falls. All I'm trying to say is if we can run dungeons in 5 minutes or 10 minutes like we're doing now, leveling any other character is going to be a little bit better. Token is not as much of a big deal as it was with the dragon. Like if we can run things like this on the dragon now, I feel like in a week or 2 weeks we could level your dragon all the way up to 70 or 80. Whatever. Yeah. Ba, 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 da, ba, da, ba. Oh my god, this guy's gonna be so hard, dude. This guy's actually one of the hardest bosses. Just hilarious that he just falls over here. I don't even think we get to his like hard part.
He's got phases.
No, he casts these inferno people, right? So there's these fucking those fire dudes that we've been trying to kill the whole time, right? And oh, actually, he does have a little bit of phases. He casts those motherfuckers, right? And you need to kill them and interrupt them, right? And if you don't kill them and interrupt them, there'll be more of them that are cast, and then finally you can't manage all of them because they can't all be interrupted at the same time. You know what I mean? Type of weird, stupid shit like that. So that's why they need to be killed. But then I'm forgetting about the thing that fucking is the hardest fucking thing about him. At least as a melee character, because I never see this thing coming because I don't know where it's coming from, is that he has these balls that he like summons that like they roll at you from like the sides of the screen and they're not very big. I wish they were like fucking massive, right? Like if they were huge and like then you'd be like, oh well they're like easier or they're harder to get away from because it's a fucking massive ball. No, that would be easier for me because I would be able to see it. But they're like small and they hide underneath the people in the ads and shit, and I can never see them. And it one shots you. So it's like, oh yeah, that's fucking awesome. Really fucking love that. I've gotten better at seeing them. I'm probably making it sound far worse than it really is, but oh, here we go. Boom, dead. Easy peasy. Lemon squeezy.
Not even close.
Oh, look at you getting some pants, dude. You getting some pants. This man's get some pants now. Oh, we're gonna get out of the live here. Do 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 do. Oh shoot, we got Q pop in here. Q popping, popping Qs.
And some quick cues right now.
For some reason that didn't level you up that much. Are you mostly at 19? You gotta be like so close. I gotta think, right?
Um, halfway through this bar.
Damn, dude, this next dungeon better get you to level 20, dude. That one only got you from 17 to 18. See if you got a new talent, bro.
It did.
Is it a cool one?
So
bro?
shouldn't it have already just done this for me?
No, it doesn't. You gotta repost that code in there every time you level. And then you gotta make a new one. It is not a foolproof.
Why wouldn't it just know?
Because it's not full. What it is it's an import, right? And then I gave you code to a build that's the best build, but that thing knows like, oh well, I can't put in, can only put in this amount of fucking things of that build, so it just gives you
Whatever you can get.
yeah, whatever you can get.
Yeah, but it should know what the future things are. I don't know. I feel like
that would have been very smart. Okay, this is all new. Okay, this what you're using right now is new to Dragonflight.
Tech.
It's Dragonflight new, dude. They talents used to be really fucking simplified in this game during MOP. I think David like literally missed out on some of the simplifications, which probably he would have hated about WoW. I don't know how he would feel about it if he ever actually did come back. He is like when David played WoW, right? There was dungeons at the end of the game that you couldn't like this is just like a normal version of the dungeon. You couldn't go into the dungeon because you weren't attuned to it. So you had to do these crazy quests which made you run other crazy dungeons so you could get attuned to these dungeons to even be able to go in there and run them. And then dungeons were like You should look up what is it? It's I think it's Dire Mall. I think it's now like two different wings or something. But that's not Dire Mall. It is Dire Mall's the fucking I gotta move, I gotta move, I gotta move. It is in the classic WoWs. Black Rock Depths, I'm pretty sure. I probably not don't even need to be fighting these people. I went into the wrong way. I did went the wrong way. I went the wrong way. This guy's an idiot. He's looking at things and it's okay. Everything died. Yeah. Talk about when I was saying 16 dungeons yesterday. When you, if you ever get a chance, look at your adventure guide. It's the little like book with the skeleton on there. Go to classic for like which dungeons you want to look at. Black Rock Depths. It's the second one. It's got to have 16 fucking people. That place took hours to run. There's another one that's like that. That was like an you got this dungeon at like level 20. It's called like Noob, right? There was maybe like 12 guys in this gnome fucking place. It was toxic as fuck. I think it wasn't until like classic or something happened. I feel like they brought it back. They did like time walking dungeons of it. Something happened that they brought it back so that people like could run go Margie again. And there was like this whole area of it that I was like, oh, I was never in a group that understood that there was like these key cards, and these key cards then like opened up this door that then led you to like this wing where like then there was like the main last boss, but like a whole bunch of other bosses that we were like just missing on every run when we thought we were finishing in the run. Days before the internet, though, life was different.
It's wild to me that anything could exist in a game and someone hasn't already written up an entire walkthrough on how to do it. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's not a thing that happens anymore. Like everyone knows how everything works long before it even comes out. You know?
Right. That that's the crazy thing. And I think it's like we discovered World of Warcraft. Like it's because people know the game now that like even so they brought back classic and it's essentially what the classic servers are and it's the easiest game in the world. But the thing is that like now everybody knows this information, right? But back then nobody knew it, right? And the only way somebody knew it was if you actually did all this shit. And it was so hard. I think that like even if you were just like fucking five people trying to figure out how to do all this shit, there was so many different things you couldn't do it. Now five people, it sounds like oh, it's really like easy if you have five people playing the game. But I feel like that's because there's so much information out there now, and then those five people, they can gather their own different information. I don't know if it's five experienced players. They all come from their different walk of life, the different things that they've already learned. Like it's far different than when it was fresh and nobody knew. I don't know. It's crazy. I think about it as like Pokemon, dude. Like, dude, I played Pokemon as a kid. I had no idea that there was shiny Pokemon. I think that
Mm-hmm.
if I saw them, I probably thought it was a glitch. I probably thought like my
I
Game
remember that.
Boy
I
was
saw
like
my very first
glitching.
shiny Pokemon one time. I was in the car with my brothers. I was 11 years old. It was a green Onyx, and I was like, huh, that's so weird. The game's bugged out. I was like, I wonder if I catch it, if it'll stay that color. And then I killed it. I don't know why. I was like, whatever, I'll just kill it. And years later, I figured out, oh my god, it was a shiny. I should have caught it. Holy shit.
Yeah,
Like,
like
that shit doesn't happen. And it's kind of a bummer because there's like a lot of aspects of video games where like that learning it, just like having to figure out is really fun.
right, right, and that's what this game was back then. It was so big and it was so difficult for people to master. You have to understand, like the starting zones of where people were was like a thing. Like if you were a Tauren and your friend started off as an orc, you guys had to like level to level 10, level 12 till you guys like got to a point where you could meet each other because like now somebody would be like, oh, just walk through fucking uh what do you call it? There's like this place that they'd be like, oh, just walk through. It's the Borderlands or fucking some shit like that. Why can't I think of the name of this? This is like a horde area. They'd be like, just walk.
Badlands?
It's not the Badlands. I'll pull it up in 2 seconds. It's called the Durotar and the Barrens. The Barrens, right? So it's like, oh, just walk through the Barrens. But dude, if you were back in the day and like you're just learning to play this game and somebody was like, oh, just walk to the Barrens and get there, right? Even if there was a guide, you would have walked into the Barrens. Those dudes, like you're level 5, those dudes are level 10 or 12. I think actually when you walk out of the Torn area, they're like level 17 or 16 right there. They one shot you and kill you. So like your friend's like, dude, just walk through here. And you're like, dude, every time I walk through here, I die. No, dude, just keep walking through. You got to try to run away from them. People would be so fun. No, no, no. Nobody did that. Like, that's not, you had to level yourself up. So then you're like, then I could walk over there and then I could meet you in game. Like, the game had such crazy, I don't know. You can definitely do this thing where you're like, they call it like, but just nobody knew about like video game concepts like this, where like basically you res at the graveyard and then you go die again and you res at the, you try to run to the, try to like hop through the graveyards. You try to run to the next graveyard to hope that when you die by the mobs, that you spawn at that graveyard to res, and then you try to run as far as you can again to get to the next graveyard spawn. Crazy. But what people don't realize is that in classic WoW that people played in the last couple years was based off patch like 1.4 or 1.6 of classic WoW, which I think in like patch 1.2 or something, somebody had a stupid video about this. They they increased the amount of flight points and the amount of graveyards in the game because people were complaining in the previous patches that like traveling was so hard in the game. So they put in more graveyards and all this jazz. And it was still the amount of graveyards that are in classic WoW compared to today, it's insane. You had to just walk so long dead if you died. It was like a punishment for dying. Crazy how much the game has changed. You could only fight one thing at a time. Like what I'm doing right now in a dungeon would not even exist, even in like, I don't know. It's a totally different game. I don't know what got us on that conversation, but
Could not tell you.
completely different game that we're playing today. I think I was talking about David and how David would probably know. Like,
well, he like kind of played the game right before a lot of big changes, and you're not sure how you feel about newer stuff.
yeah, well, I think he has like this taste in his mind that it's like work, which like at times when David played this game, there's 40-man raids. There was also like he did this like I forget what this thing was called. It's like AQ40. That's what I think it is. Like it was a whole world server, had to do all these dailies all the time, had to collect these like stupid stones and reputations and all this shit to like unlock the gates of the fucking um raid. And like some servers never even accomplished this because there wasn't enough people on the server that were high level to do it. So like some servers your server didn't do it. Like crazy. Um and like what's another one is I think they did this in like BC, and there was like the Sunwell and shit. And like, dude, so I started playing it in BC, but it used to take like 30 days to level. So when I played in BC, by the time I got to level 70, and I was like talking to like the other level 70s, they were like, Wrath of the Lich King comes out in 2 weeks. There's no point for you to do anything because your gear's gonna all get replaced with that gear because in Burning Crusades, all of the best classic gear got replaced within the first 2 levels. So that was very true. That all the gear that you got in Wrath of the Lich King was fucking crazy. Compared to the gear. So like I really didn't do anything. Never mind, I couldn't get groups anything because I was like a fresh 70. And but there was like all this talk. Then now when I was like talking with like all the people and trying to get into like 70 guilds and shit, um, that like Sunwell, dude, like 1% of like all guilds had fucking done it. Naxxramas and Classic, which was like the last one, like very few people ever even like step foot into these things. So I feel like this whole thing of like, oh, things on the internet and stuff like that, and it's like looking up a problem on the internet. Like, is there a problem with my graphics card? Well, if unless somebody said that there was a problem, there's not going to be an article on it. And if these motherfuckers that figured out how to do this shit and they're all like fucking hardcore nerds and they're like, oh no, this was easy. They're not going to be like, oh, let's make a video of fucking how to do this shit because it was easy. Where more of it was just a time commitment that people just needed to play WoW for so long to get to that high level and then have people to play with to do this high level content. None of it was actually difficult. It was just that MMOs weren't popular. In the gaming, there wasn't enough people playing. There's so many more people. I don't. That's a tough thing too. There was 11 million people playing WoW when Wrath of Lich King was out. So I don't even understand how that.
It was just that much of a time sink.
Dude,
people
but
that play this game played
it
literally
wasn't
all day, every day.
But dude,
to be competitive.
It wasn't, dude. This is the thing. So when Classic Lich King came out, dude, I played Classic Lich King, right? I leveled my paladin in a week, and it was set to how it was set back in the day. It's just like, oh, now I know how to play WoW, so like I'm way better at doing all these things. Back in the day, I was fucking 15, 14 years old. I was definitely probably not doing things efficiently because I was a child, right? But like it was easy. And then fucking I don't know. Then I did all the dungeons. All the dungeons were I was like, these dungeons are a fucking cakewalk. Where I remember back in the day, I felt like these were difficult. That like we used to wipe in these, but like no one's wiping, and this is insanely easy. And then I joined a random guild, and the first day that the there was another version of Nax, this raid came out. I raided with those guilds, with this guild, right? Nobody in there was like hardcore that I knew of that was hardcore. We cleared the raid in an hour and 15 minutes on the first night on the hardest difficulty. I was like, what's the point of me? Like, what's the point of me playing this game? I don't understand. I don't know. It was like, this is so easy. But for some reason back in the day, this was so difficult. It's very confusing. I think that this is a concept that escapes me. That the internet speeds have gotten better. That back in the day it was more difficult because we were on slower internet speeds, and that made things like you didn't realize something was there when it was there. And then now because our internet speeds are better, I don't know if that's something to do to it. Graphics are better. I have more pixels on my screen. I don't know. I think there's more things. Any thoughts on that?
I think that's definitely a part of it. And there's definitely technical limitations just in general. There's probably less things going on in general, so each of those things had to be more complex or difficult in their own right. Now you can just manage more things, and that is a piece of the difficulty. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, oh, these things hit harder, but you're only managing 5 different, whatever. I mean, made up those numbers, but
I think in classic WoW, dude, it feels like you managing one thing. Like the boss does this one thing, or he goes into these 3 phases where he does this one thing, and this is what we need to do. Like it's like, oh, for example, like there's this dragon or whatever, and it's like, okay, when he goes into phase 2, he um has these portals, and a tank and DPS and a healer need to go into these portals and kill the dudes like casting a spell in there, or it's going to kill us. You know what I mean? Like it's like, okay. But for some reason, like back in the day, I feel like that was like, people need to get in the portal. Why are people not getting in the portal? It's like, but now people are like, oh yeah, we got to get in the portal, we're going to die. I don't know. It's like people just get the concept of video games, I think, more than I think there's just so many things. Video games were just new. Like just any concept of this whole thing was new.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
I mean, at the time, like what? Like you were playing video games for how many years, and they were all very less complex.
Right. I
But now
think. I
you've
mean,
been doing your whole life, and all the games are complex at this point. You know what I mean? Like it's a bit more
right.
room for
I mean,
complexity.
people can talk about like those some of those other games being complex back in the day. Like I understand. Like oh, there was so much you could do. You could go. You know, do I go down this path or this path or like you know what I mean? All those stupid RPG games and all that shit like that. But I feel like what I'm trying to talk about is like gaming mechanics, and I feel like people have gotten better at just gaming the act of gaming. I don't know how to even explain this. Like the familiarity with using the controller. Like